Today, we're diving into a political shockwave that's shaking the UK, and it's not just about Labour's recent troubles. But first, if you love in-depth analysis on the big headlines making waves across the globe, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button. Let's unravel the story behind the headlines and explore how it all connects to broader political shifts. Now, let's get into it. Just a quick one to say we do have t-shirts available on our website. We have stuck Farmer and Make Britain Great Again ones. Make sure you check the link in the description or go to britishstand.com. Labour, riding high from its victory just months ago, is now staring down a stark reversal of fortune. A new poll suggests that the party would lose nearly 200 seats if an election were held today, a wake-up call for Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his government. From voter backlash over rural tax policies to the surprising rise of Nigel Farage's Reform UK, this analysis reveals a political landscape more fragmented than ever. It also paints a picture of growing disillusionment among voters, an issue not just for Labour but for democracy itself. Could this be the end of Britain's two-party dominance? And what lessons can be learned from this sudden shift? Labour would suffer a devastating blow to its parliamentary majority, losing nearly 200 of the seats it secured in its July landslide victory if a general election were held today, according to a new poll. The findings represent a significant challenge for Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, whose government has faced mounting criticism during its initial months in power. The seat-by-seat analysis, conducted by think tank More in Common for the Sunday Times, suggests Labour would lose 87 seats to the Conservatives, 67 to Reform UK, and 26 to the SNP. The results come from an extensive MRP, multi-level regression and post-stratification analysis, based on survey data from more than 11,000 respondents. These projections reveal a political landscape more fragmented than ever, with Labour's earlier dominance eroding under intense public and political scrutiny. Regional backlash and specific issues. Labour's losses appear most acute in regions where the party made significant inroads during its July triumph. In the West Country, a region once hailed as a key symbol of Labour's broadening appeal, the party faces backlash over contentious policy decisions, such as changes to inheritance tax rules for farmers. Rural communities, a critical demographic in Labour's victory, have reportedly grown disillusioned, perceiving these changes as detrimental to their livelihoods. Similarly, Labour has struggled to defend its stance on controversial issues like compensation for the WASPy women born in the 1950s, who lost out on pension entitlements due to changes in the state pension age. The government's refusal to offer compensation has alienated a core demographic of voters, many of whom had supported Labour with hopes for a more empathetic approach to social justice. Perhaps the most striking aspect of the analysis is the meteoric rise of Nigel Farage's Reform UK, which is projected to win 72 seats, up from just 5 in July. Reform UK would replace the Liberal Democrats as the third largest party in Parliament, solidifying its position as a disruptive force in British politics. The party's claims of surpassing Conservative Party membership numbers have added to the narrative of its growing influence. Reform UK's appeal seems particularly strong in former Labour strongholds, where voters express frustration with what they see as unfulfilled promises and muddled messaging from the Starmer government. The fallout would not spare Labour's senior leadership, with 7 cabinet ministers projected to lose their seats. Notable casualties include Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, and Health Secretary Wes Streeting. The latter's loss of Ilford North to an independent candidate underscores the vulnerability of even high-profile MPs in this volatile political climate. The poll also highlights an increasingly fractured electorate, with the traditional two-party system under unprecedented strain. According to the projection, 271 seats, more than 40% of the total, would be won with less than a third of the vote. This fragmentation complicates the path to a stable majority government, with Labour predicted to secure only 228 seats, down from 412. The Conservatives, while regaining ground with 222 seats, up from 121, would still fall short of a majority. Meanwhile, the SNP and Liberal Democrats would see modest gains and losses respectively as smaller parties continue to challenge the status quo. Luke Trail, executive director of More in Common, commented, "There is no doubt that many voters have found the start of the Starmer government disappointing. Far from the usual electoral honeymoon, our model estimates Labour would lose nearly 200 of the seats they won in July's election. The polling reflects widespread dissatisfaction with Labour's handling of key issues, including the means testing of the winter fuel allowance and other budgetary measures perceived as disproportionately affecting low- and middle-income households. For many voters, these early decisions have eroded confidence in the government's ability to deliver on its promises." Implications for Labour and the country. These findings are a stark reminder of the volatile nature of modern British politics. For Labour, they underscore the urgent need for a course correction. The Starmer government must address the perception that it has failed to deliver substantive change, particularly in regions that were instrumental to its victory. Without a clear and compelling narrative to re-engage disillusioned voters, Labour risks further alienation. For the Conservatives, the poll offers a glimmer of hope, but not without its challenges. While the party would regain many seats, it too falls short of a majority, indicating that trust in traditional political establishments remains tenuous. Reform UK's surge further complicates the landscape, introducing an unpredictable element into the country's electoral calculus. The implications for Britain's political future are profound. With no party projected to achieve a majority, the prospect of a hung parliament looms large. Such an outcome would likely usher in an era of coalition politics, forcing parties to navigate a complex and fractious political environment. As the Starmer government faces mounting pressure to reverse its fortunes, this polling serves as a sobering reminder of the high stakes involved. Whether Labour can reclaim its momentum, or whether the country is on the cusp of a more fragmented and contentious political era, remains to be seen. Lastly, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a misstep by releasing their latest Netflix project, Polo, amid the couple's previous focus on more relatable issues like mental health and social justice, a PR expert has said. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who stepped back as working royals in January 2020 and moved to California, serve as executive producers for the 5-part series, which was released earlier this month. The sexy sport is billed in the trailer as showcasing dirty, sweaty boys riding, marking the Sussex's 4th project for the streaming giant in their 5-year contract set to come to an end in 2025. PR expert Renee Smith suggested the couple could have taken a different approach to better align with their core values. She said, "A better approach might have been to focus on an issue tied to their core values, perhaps a story about resilience or community empowerment through sport." The PR expert noted this would have aligned better with their personal brands and resonated more deeply with their audience. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a brief appearance in their latest polo-focused project following elite global polo players. The couple only appear in episode 5, filmed at the Royal Salute Polo Challenge in Florida last April, an event staged in aid of Centre Bali. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.